At the level of Sahastrara, you know the truth. So all kinds of illusions, all kinds of misunderstandings, all kinds of self-imposed ignorance, they all to disappear. Because what you know is the truth. The truth is not sharp, it's not harsh, it is not something which is difficult to assimilate. People thought truth must be something that would be just very damaging, or could be very harsh, could create problems between human beings. We should not have. We should not have. It was not meant to be. But whenever they talked of truth, the people used it for a wrong purpose. It's something special about human beings that they start using things for a wrong attitude, for a wrong message, and try to use it for their own purpose. It's such a common thing with human beings that they want to have power over other men. Now I've seen in my own country when people wanted to have separate nations. Those people who wanted to have separate nations actually did it, not to achieve anything great, but just because they can become, those people who wanted, for few of them, they'll become something great in their own country. So they never wanted to be in a country where they may not rise to that height. So then they separated those countries. And by separating, I have seen all these countries are suffering. Suffering very much. There's no growth, there's financial problem, all kinds of problems are there. And also the main country is suffering because they have now developed enmity, and all this is working out against the main country. So to have a separatist idea itself is against Sahaja. Say for example, a flower growing on the tree looks very nice. It develops there, matures there, and it produces seeds also. But supposing you cut the flower and take it away, then what happens? The tree loses the flower, no doubt, but mostly it is the loss of the flower. Now this they did, all of them. And when they did it, you see, what is the result? That people who tried to have their own country, their own domain, they were killed, murdered, abused, and some of them are in jail. So the attitude even outside Sahaja has shown that it doesn't help. So we must learn to be one. If after Sahaja, after your realization, if you do not understand this message, that we all have to be one single unit, one single body. If we cannot be, if we are identified with other things, then it's no way you have grown, you have not matured. Very important point on Sahastrara Day one has to understand, that all the 7 chakras have their pithas in the Sahastrara. All the 7 chakras. They are nicely settled down in the midriff of your brain. And they act through that area, wherever they are, on the chakras and work it out. Now all these 7 chakras become one, I should say, or go into union. Complete integration takes place in these centers. Because these are governed by these 7 main chakras, we can call them, you can call them by any name. And they govern all the other chakras. And because they are in unison, completely integrated, that's why all your chakras are integrated. The pithas, which are enlightened, I should say, by Kundalini, also blessed by the divine power, immediately become integrated. They say that like pearls in one string. It's even more than that. It's more than that. All these pithas within you get integrated in such a manner as if there's no difference in their manifestation. Supposing you have a chakra which is not all right, something wrong, physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever it is, the other chakras try to help this sick chakra and try to evolve a personality of a Sahaja in a way that he is integrated. Now, integration within yourself is very important. Unless until you are integrated within yourself, you cannot be integrated outside. And within yourself, the integration is such a blessing of Sahaja that a person who gets this realization becomes a personality which is above the normal personality. It is not attached to all the negative forces, the destructive forces. It just gives up so many things which normally very difficult to give up. All these 7 chakras that we have within ourselves are then guided by these pithas in a unison. Just the help that comes from this unison helps all the chakras to get completely integrated. As it is, we are not integrated because our mind goes on one side. Our body goes on another side. Our heart goes on another side. Our emotions are different. We do not know which is the right thing to do, what is the best thing to do. But after realization, in the light of the Spirit, you get the truth and you know what is to be done. For example, after self-realization, you can judge people on their vibrations. You don't have to use your brains for that. Just on your vibrations, immediately you know what's wrong with yourself and with others. So here it is a double correction. One is you see your own being, your own self, your self-knowledge comes to you. And secondly, you can also make out another person, what sort of a thing he is doing. If somebody is not Sahaja and claims to be Sahaja, you can easily find out that he is not Sahaja. His behavior is not Sahaja. So, best thing is for all of us is to get this integration absolutely working out within ourselves. We should not shun it, but we should accept that whatever defects we had, whatever wrong we have been doing, what wrong thinking we had, whatever destructive we had taken to, all this has to disappear because you are Sahajogis. Sahajogis have a special job to be done. They are not like other people who are just working for money, working for power, working for domination. You are not. You are working in Sahaja for the emancipation of humanity. So whole thing is that this Sahastrara is a global field where we enter in. We enter into a global field. And when we are there, we just become ourselves a global personality. So all these minor things like your race, your country, your religion and all these, which are artificial barriers between human beings, just drops out. And you become a realized soul, and you know what is humanity. You understand the humanity. This has to happen in all the surgeries when they are together. They should understand that we are not no more ordinary human beings. We are special people chosen for a very special work, which is the most important thing today. Now, as you know what is going on in Kali Yuga, I need not describe all that to you. But what is the light of the Spirit which is going to show you what you can do to remove the ills of Kali Yuga? Starting right from yourself. You just see for yourself with great amusement what you have been doing was all stupid. You should not have done that, but you have been doing, so it's all right, you can forgive others who are doing it. And you will understand that those who have been doing it have been doing all this out of ignorance. But now you have your Sahastrara open. In the open Sahastrara, you are getting, or the divine is pouring its grace all the time. With that reception, with that, we should say, the nourishing of your Sahastrara, what happens is something really great. One thing happens that you get detached from yourself. You can see yourself. You can see your past. You can understand yourself that you have been doing so many wrong things and misunderstanding people. This sometimes takes you too far away from yourself. But once this light comes and the Sahastrara is nourished, in that light you see clearly what wrong you have been doing to yourself. Then as a person you can see your faults, but also you see the faults of your society very well. I have seen immediately after people get their realization, they start telling me, Mother, I was a Christian, but see, this is Christianity. Somebody will say, Mother, I was very patriotic, but I see now what is patriotism is. Like everybody starts seeing its own background, its own styles in which he has lived, and just gets out of it. And once you are out of it, it's no more identified with you. And it's such a spontaneous happening. Only thing, you have to learn to be spontaneous. And that's what I find, that in search, people still, though they are out of this illusion, this ocean of illusion, still sometimes their one leg is still there in the ocean, and still they are pulling it out and pushing it back. That should not be. That is only because people don't meditate.